Hi, I'm Liv and welcome to the Book Nook. So today I'm going to crack on with part 2 of my June haul. Now I am absolutely shattered at the moment, so I'm going to apologise in advance for how all over the place this video is going to be. Essentially I keep trying to kind of like record videos and get ahead of myself, but then I end up tacking things onto the end of videos, so who knows what's going to happen with this one. I am going to try not to buy as many books over the next like 2 weeks, but who knows if that will actually happen. But basically I'm going to start with the ones that I've bought this month or the last couple of weeks or so. They're not actually going to be in order because I'm too tired to even remember when I bought them or when I got them, so I'm just going to go for it. The first one I'm going to tell you that I bought is A Little Black Book, A Toolkit for Working Women by Otegha Uwagba. I've probably pronounced that entirely wrong, so I do apologise. Now this one I've seen around and it's published by Fourth Estate, and it says A Little Black Book, A Toolkit for Working Women is the modern career guide every creative woman needs, whether you're just starting out or have already years of experience. Full of fresh ideas and no-nonsense practical advice, Otegha Uwagba takes you through everything you need to build a successful self-made career, from money management to building a killer personal brand via a crash course in networking like a pro and tips on overcoming creative block. So yeah, I just thought this one looked quite interesting and I thought I'd just give it a go, just a little one to flick through, so yeah, got myself a copy of that one. Then, because I'm a sucker for a gimmick, I bought myself a copy of Twitteriture, The World's Greatest Books Retold Through Twitter by Alexander Ackerman and Emmett Urensin. So it's by Penguin Books, and yeah, it's sort of abbreviated classics as if they were on Twitter. And some of them look quite funny, and there are some books in here that I haven't read, so I'm like, yeah, now I'll have read them. That's how this works, right? And you've got like a lot in here. You've got Paradise Lost, Metamorphosis, Oedipus the King, Macbeth, Great Gatsby, Hamlet, Overcoat, Old Man in the Sea, The Inferno, Beowulf, Candide, Faustus, Emma, Great Expectations. You've got shitloads in there. So yeah, that one's just going to keep me going for a little while, just to sort of like dip into when I fancy a giggle, but also want to be litty. Then the next one I bought, I can't actually remember how I found out about this one, because I never actually got around to reading At Hawthorne Time by Melissa Harrison when it was up longlisted for the Bailey's Prize last year. I have got it somewhere and I was really intrigued by it. And I can't remember where I heard about this one. I think it was possibly an article that Melissa Harrison had tweeted about some of her previous work or something. I'm not entirely sure. But basically, I picked up myself a copy of Clay by Melissa Harrison. Now, this was her first novel, I believe. Yes, it is. And it says, 8-year-old TC skips school to explore the city's overgrown, forgotten corners. Sophia, 78, watches with concern as he slips past her window through the little park she loves. She's writing to her granddaughter Daisy, whose privileged upbringing means she exists in a different world from TC, though the two children live less than a mile apart. Joseph spends his days doing house clearances, his nights working in a takeaway. He still can't forget the farm he left behind in Poland, its woods and fields still a part of him, although he is 1,000 miles away. When he meets TC, he finds a kindred spirit, both lonely, both looking for something, both lost. So yeah, this one's meant to be really gorgeous, and I just thought the cover was really gorgeous as well, really pretty. Little dog. Little doggy. And then I picked up 2 poetry collections, although I do actually remember that I picked these up before all of this lot, but there we go. So the first one is one that I've been really excited for a little while, and that is Hollie McNish's new collection, Plum. Hollie McNish has thrilled and entranced audiences the length and breadth of the UK with her compelling and powerful performances. Plum, her debut for Picador poetry, is a wise, sometimes rude, piercingly candid account of her memories from childhood to attempted adulthood. This is a book about growing up, about flesh, fruit, friendships, work and play, and the urgent need to find a voice for the poems that will somehow do the whole glorious riot of it justice. Throughout Plum, McNish allows her poems to be interrupted by earlier writing from her younger selves, voices that speak out from the past, with disarming and often very funny results. It's a celebration, a salute to life in which we're always growing, stumbling, falling, changing and discovering new selves to add to our own messy store. It will leave the reader in no doubt as to why McNish is considered one of the most important poets of the new generation. Now, I love Hollie McNish's stuff. Her and Kate Tempest are often sort of talked about in at least sort of the same kind of breath. You know, they've both done sort of performance poetry, but their style is quite different. But I absolutely love Hollie McNish's stuff, so I'm really excited to get stuck into this one. Then I picked up a copy of Kumukanda by Kayo Chigonyi. Now, I was lucky enough to see Kayo read at a Lit Live event up in London. A friend of mine, who I think I've mentioned on here before, Olivia Francini, she used to run some of the Lit Live events, which were kind of literary events in connection with goldsmiths, and she was a sort of PhD student there and running those. And I was lucky enough to see Kayo read at one of those, and he was absolutely fantastic, and his poetry was incredibly moving, really, really powerful, sort of funny, fresh, a bit of everything. Absolutely loved it. So, and he was talking about the fact that he'd have a collection coming out soon, so as soon as I saw this one was out, I was like, I will have it, please, and I did. Translating as initiation, Kumukanda is the name given to the rites a young boy from the Valley tribe must pass through before he is considered a man. Kayo Chigonyi's remarkable debut explores this passage between two worlds, ancestral and contemporary, between the living and the dead, between the gulf of who he is and how he is perceived. Underpinned by a love of music, language and literature, here is a powerful exploration of race, identity and masculinity, celebrating what it means to be British and not British all at once. So I'm really excited to read this one. It's only a little slim one, so I think I'm probably going to sit and read this one quite soon, sit and spend an evening with that one. Sorry, I feel like I'm kind of racing through these, but as I say, I'm so tired, I'm barely conscious, I'm barely even aware of what I'm saying at the minute. And I've got some proper wings going on here, haven't I? I wanna fly away. Wings, wings, wings. So next up are the ones that I have been sent this last couple of weeks or so, and the first one is one that I forgot I'd even asked for, because I just do that, and that is A Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. Now, I'd seen about this on a couple of other booktubers channels, and it looked really, really interesting. Isabel Paul is fresh out of high school, pregnant with her art teacher's baby and totally on her own. Izzy knows she can be a good mother, but without any money or family to fall back on, she's left searching. So when she's offered a space in the Infinity Family Project, a utopian ideal funded by an eccentric billionaire, she accepts. Isabel joins 9 other couples, all with children the same age as her newborn son, to raise their children as one extended family in a spacious, secluded compound in Tennessee. But can this experiment really work, or is their perfect little world destined to go horribly wrong? So this looks really, really interesting, sort of communal living, bringing up children together. It just sort of looks really interesting. And I think having read The Girls recently, where there was like a little element of that was sort of like commune cult living, bringing up children, and sort of like the seedy side of that. I'm really, really intrigued to see where this one goes. So yeah, and the cover, you can sort of see it there, the finished cover, it's going to have sort of this all over it, which I really, really love. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Thank you very much, Picador. And then another one from Picador is one that I hadn't actually asked for, and I was going to ask for, and then I popped into work yesterday and saw that they'd already sent me a copy, which is just like, yes, thank you so much. And that is This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Now, there are a couple of books coming out in the next couple of months that are sort of written by junior doctors or doctors about the pressures they're working under the NHS. I believe the other one is by, I want to say, Rachel Marsh. I can't remember the title of the other one, but the other one's called Your Life in My Hands or something like that. I think it's by Rachel something or other, Rachel Clarke, maybe? Or I'll double check and put it down below. But this one I'd heard a lot about. This Is Going to Hurt, Secret Diaries of a Junior Doctor. As soon as Adam Kay set foot on a hospital ward for the first time, he realised there's quite a lot they don't teach you at medical school. His diaries from the NHS frontline, scribbled in secret after long nights, endless days and missed weekends, are hilarious, horrifying and heartbreaking by turns. This Is Going to Hurt is everything you wanted to know about being a junior doctor, and more than a few things you really didn't, and yes, it may leave a scar. So the bit on the front cover, you might not be able to sort of read it from here, so I'll just read it to you. It's a sort of slightly funny excerpt. Tuesday, 31st of October. Leaving labour ward at 10 p.m. rather than 8 p.m. thanks to a major obstetric hemorrhage ending up back in theatre. I'm meant to be going to a Halloween party, but now I don't have time to go home and pick up my costume. However, I am currently dressed in scrubs and splattered head to toe in blood. Would it be so wrong? So yeah, it looks like it's going to be really moving. Everything I've heard about this one says that it is sort of incredibly moving. It's sort of frustrating to read. It's heartbreaking. It's funny. It's warm. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read this one. I've got a lot of time for the NHS. I know that sounds like really trite, but yeah, there've been sort of a few things in my life where I've ended up in hospital, and yeah. So I am going to read this one soon, I think. I know, again, I keep saying that one, but yeah, this feels like an important one to read, especially at the moment. The less said about that, the better. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay, so thanks again to Picador. So the next 3 are all from Fourth Estate. Now, there were 3 books that I'd seen around and was really sort of jealous of, and I sent a cheeky little email to HarperCollins and asked if there was any chance that they'd be able to send me some of these titles, and the lovely Ammara said, yeah, sure, no problem, and sent me over these copies, and I am really very excited. So the first one is Borne by Jeff VanderMeer. Now, I have never actually finished the Southern Reach trilogy. As I say that, I haven't even finished reading the first book in the Southern Reach trilogy. I've got them all up there behind my cactus. So I'm going to get around to them again soon, because one of my colleagues is reading the trilogy at the moment, but I think I'm going to read this one first, because it's not sort of like a follow-on from what I can gather. A ruined city of the future lives in fear of a despotic giant flying bear, driven mad by the tortures inflicted on him by the Company, a mysterious biotech firm. Entangled in his fur, Rachel, a scavenger, finds a creature she names Borne. At first, Borne looks like nothing at all, a green lump that might be a discord from the Company, but he reminds Rachel of her homeland, an island nation long lost to rising seas, and she prevents her lover, Wick, from rendering down Borne as raw genetic material for the special kind of drugs he sells. But nothing is quite the way it seems. Not the past, not the present, not the future. If Wick is hiding secrets, so is Rachel, and Borne most of all. So this is another sort of sci-fi, post-apocalyptic-y, I can't even say that, post-apocalyptic-y type book. And yeah, I've heard really great things about this one, so I think I am going to read this one like very, very soon. I'm in the mood for something sci-fi, and I don't think I can quite hack starting a series at the moment, and I've got a few sci-fi and fantasy books dotted around on my shelves that are the first in series, and yeah, I think I'm just going to get started with this one. So the next one that Ammara was kind enough to send over to me is one that I've been exceedingly jealous of when everyone on BookTube has been getting a copy, so I'm really, really pleased that there was a copy available for me, and that is My Absolute Darling by Gabriel Tallent. So this one, there's been so much talk about this one, and I'm really excited. At 14, Turtle Alverston knows the use of every gun on her wall, that chaos is coming and only the strong will survive it, that her daddy loves her more than anything else in this world, and he'll do whatever it takes to keep her with him. She doesn't know why she feels so different from the other girls at school, why the line between love and pain can be so hard to see, why making a friend may be the bravest and most terrifying thing she's ever done, and what her daddy will do when he finds out. Ooh. So this one looks really, really good. Again, I've heard so much about this one, and I think it comes out sort of next month in hardback. It's either next month or August. 29th of August, there you go, it's written right on the back, well done me. So this one I do want to read before the hardback comes out, so I am going to bump this one up my list because it looks really, really good, and from what I've heard about it, it looks absolutely sensational. So yeah, My Absolute Darling by Gabriel Tallent. And the last one from the lovely guys at Fourth Estate is Peculiar Ground by Lucy Hughes-Hallet. Now I've been seeing this one, again, it's out in hardback at the moment in our bookshops, and I've been seeing it there, the cover, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I just said that I'm going to email on the off chance they've got any copies left, and they did, which is yay! So this one, again, I've heard so much about. So many customers have been coming in asking about it, so I was like, I want to see what all the fuss is about. It's the 17th century and a wall is being built around a great house. Witchwood is an enclosed world, its ornamental lakes and majestic avenues planned by Mr. Norris, landscape maker. A world where everyone has something to hide after decades of civil war, where dissidents shelter in the forest, lovers linger in secret gardens, and migrants fleeing the plague are turned away from the gate. 3 centuries later, another wall goes up overnight, dividing Berlin, while at Witchwood, over one hot, languorous weekend, erotic entanglements are shadowed by the news of historic change. A little girl, Nell, observes all. Nell grows up and Witchwood is invaded. There is a pop festival by the lake, a TV crew in the dining room, and a great storm brewing. As the Berlin Wall comes down, a fatwa signals a different ideological fault line, and a refuge seeks safety in Witchwood. So this one looks really, really interesting. Bit of a sort of mix of all sorts of things going on in here. So I am really excited to give this one. It is a bit of a chunkster. But yeah, I'm going to give this one a go soon as well, I think. I want to talk to my customers about this one, and I want to talk to people who've read it. And so yeah, I'm going to bump this one up the reading list as well. Peculiar Ground by Lucy Hughes-Hallet. So yeah, that's part 2 of my haul. Little pile of goodies, just there, just by my thumb, just by my thumb. As per usual, if you've read any of these and you didn't like them, keep stum. But if you've read any of these and you love them, do tell. Pray tell me all. If any of them look like they're your kind of thing as well and you're thinking of picking them up, let me know, have a little chat. And yeah, let's have a little chat in the comments below, as per usual. I'm going to go and probably have a nap now, although, to be fair, that's the problem. I had a longer nap before I filmed this than I intended to, hence the sleepiness. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.